Hello, this is the Actor's Take, and I'm going to be doing a breakdown on Boyz N The Hood with Cuba Gooding Jr. Let's get to it.
Tired of hearing them shooting all the time. What's wrong?
Okay, so this is a good example of how when people say like people don't say what they are feeling. So clearly, Trey's hurt, and he's not really taking it very well at all. I mean, who would? You had a gun pointed in your face, and it was all over your cheekbones and shit, and it wasn't really good. So, just let's go back a little bit. I just want to show you something.
Ain't nothing gonna happen to me.
Tired of hearing them shooting all the time.
So you see how he kind of has like he has that puppy dog face kind of staring into space. There's a lot happening in his head. He pretty much just had a gun pointed in his face, and obviously, the film knows not to sit here and say I just had a gun pointed in my face. Like if he just said, "What's wrong?" I had a gun pointed in my face, man. It's like, you're telling us, and it gets to an exhibition thing. Cuba's performance, you can see all of that kind of happening, in his face, just with the puppy dog look. And when she asked him like, "What's wrong?"
What's wrong?
he kind of just walks off with like that dismissive, almost like that dismissive demeanor. A clear sign that something is wrong, but she wouldn't know if it's her fault or if it's something else. So it's just good choices happening right now.
I'm tired of this shit. Fuckers are sick of fucking tired of this shit. Sick of this shit. I'm so fucking tired of this.
Notice too that that helicopter sound that you guys heard like above them. Notice how that like kind of triggered him to really get into this. You know what I mean? Because it's a good way to say like, he says I'm tired of this shit. And then the helicopter kind of goes through and it triggers him into like getting to this whole shadow boxing thing. And it's just a good way to cue like visually cue what he's talking about. Like, I'm tired of this shit. He's just tired of this Crenshaw area. He's tired of the hood. And it's just a good way to say all that without really using a lot of words. And this is when he gets into his performance.
Fuck this shit. Somebody motherfucking fuck you. Fucking tired of this shit. Don't let me kill all you motherfuckers. Come on to me, motherfucker.
So, I keep thinking about that. Don't be a menace to society. Regardless, reasons why it's so powerful is because she is showing that she understands what he's talking about without saying anything. In her performance, all she has to do is to sit there, see him, and kind of like feel what he's really grasping at. And when they go back to him, when he's like kind of wailing on and stuff, like this part. See, come on, you see that part where he's like, "Come on, you motherfucker!" Like you can tell that he sees all of like the corruption that's going on in his neighborhood. He sees the corrupt cops. He sees the gangsters across the street that he runs into that he has a problem with. He just sees all of that, and all he wants to do is lash out at them. But he understands the consequences, and so for him to kind of like do this through the air, it's just a really powerful way to address the inner pain that he's feeling, but can't really talk about. See, this part in here is powerful. I like how she is coming to him, no judgments, still very submissive, and just holding him in this very vulnerable state. And I think this is why this movie it's what sets this movie apart from a lot of other urban dramas, because we don't see a lot of this in movies like that. But the thing of it is that it's it's both of the actors coming together, using nothing but their performances, understanding the chaos that's around them, and understanding the reasons to lash out. you know. And I like how they have the contrast. They have like the contrast with him being the aggressor, kind of just punching at air, and her being the one to kind of soothe things and bring him back down to her level. He laughing.
So funny. Never thought I'd be crying in front of a female.
So, like I said, all these things that he's feeling, but he can't talk about. So, one of the elements that people are starting to talk about now is that in Black communities, you can't talk about trauma. You can't talk about what's wrong with you. You can't talk about problems you're going through and things like that. And let alone you can't talk about these in front of women, like, at all. And what this film is showing, or maybe trying to say, is that men who are able to vent emotionally like this and become vulnerable in front of their women and have the women be okay with this and just be the nurturer, just hold them and let them know that they understand and things are going to be okay, is what helps a lot of brothers who are in these environments cope. Because, you know, it's some rough shit living in the hood, man. Moments like this shown on film is really, really powerful. And I love how I like this transition from being upset and kind of like creeping laughs in there a little bit and kind of like being like, God, I'm fucking crying my eyes out. Like, it's even more sad because he even feels like he can't cry in front of his woman.
You can cry in front of me.
So, just a good way to kind of bring him back from that high, man. That like that seeing red and stuff like that. It's just a good way to just, with the performances, they really know how to just work with what they have on paper and just kind of show the performance what's happening. I don't know if punching in the air was in the script, even though it gets mocked at a lot and people give it flack. I think it works for the nature of this scene, just because, you know, it's like, how are you going to talk about a gun pointing in your head? I think it works, man. You know, so get off Cuba Gooding's back. Get off his back, man, because it works. That's what sets this film above the rest, man. Not a lot of urban films can do it like this, man. You know, shout out to John Singleton. R.I.P., my dude. So that's my take on the Trey scene in Boyz N The Hood, man. They don't make them like this anymore. I really appreciate scenes like this. But yeah, that was my take on it. If you like this video, hit the like button, please. And if you love this video, hit subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay?